you're like me, you've just watched the Buccaneers game and is a little bit underwhelmed about Tom Brady's performance. He put up 239 yards, a rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. We were paying him $25 million a season, and I understand that it's a weird off season. You didn't have a preseason. I'm just a little bit surprised at his inability to keep the ball safe. He did have another fumble, but he was able to recover it himself towards the end of the game. Unfortunately, we did not come out on top here, and here's what I have to say about it. He definitely needs time to mesh with his receivers. Weird offseason. He's coming from a brand new system, and he was in New England for 2 decades, working under the same coach, figuring it out, having great tools around him, and it was able to make himself look better than he actually is. He was able to win 6 rings there. But now in Tampa, it's completely different. You have a brand new coach. You have one player that you've played with before in Rob Gronkowski, which you only found 2 times for 4 yards. So, if we're not going to be able to make these easier throws to our main guy that we've had chemistry with for the last 9 years, that's an issue. I don't want to go 0-6 and be like, okay, now we found our receivers, we've meshed as a team. I know what's going to happen before it happens. Well, now we're 0-6 and we need to win the next 10 games to make the playoffs. So I think definitely next week we have Carolina in our schedule. That's a game where we can experiment a little bit, find our weaknesses, find our strengths, try to exploit theirs, and probably come out on top. But as long as we can just continue to get as many reps as possible, I want Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Rob Gronkowski getting open. I want to see as many reps as possible. We need to reduce the amount of times that we hand it off because we were inefficient in the running game today. We need to try to find as much as possible our receivers, definitely gel as a team going forward. So if we have Tom Brady making 55, 50 throws a game, I am totally fine with that. That just means we're going to pass the ball more. We're a passing team, passing offense, and we have great receivers that support that. So if we can just maintain our ability to pass the ball like what we had with Jameis, we did have Jameis Winston throwing a lot of picks and a lot of turnovers in general. But Tom Brady is not one of those quarterbacks, and we have just taken the good out of Jameis Winston and taking the bad out of Jameis Winston and make it into a good quarterback. Unfortunately, he does lose the scrambling ability, and he is 43 years old, so we do not want him to get smacked. But today's performance, I just think he did get sacked a few times. He was under pressure a lot. But there's no excuse for not being able to just find our receivers that are very good. They were open a lot of the time. It's going to come down to being able to mesh with them, gel with them, and figure out where they're going to be before they go. A lot of miscommunications on the offense today. Obviously playing a very good team in New Orleans. They have a very good defense, very good secondary. They did have a few big penalties. Mike Evans had like a 40-yard pass interference call for him, and we got to move up, and we ended up scoring on that possession. We had a few nice possessions. We had a nice 2-minute drill towards the end that I think is what we need to continually get against the Carolina Panthers next season in a real NFL setting. It's competitive, but that's just things that we would get normally in the preseason that we were unable to do because of the coronavirus. I think that canceling the preseason definitely hurt our team's chances with a brand new quarterback. We did kind of gut our defense too. We added a lot. Outside the front seven, all of our defensive backs are just completely different playing. Carlton Davis had a very nice game today, but I think that Jamel Dean also, he has been letting up a lot of big plays, but Tom Brady I think is mostly to blame here. He did have 2 interceptions, which I don't think helped the team. The first one was just a miscommunication with Mike Evans. Mike Evans thought he was running the post. He didn't. And then the second one was just an error throw. You see it sometimes happens to everyone. He just made one bad throw, and unfortunately it was at a point on the field where you would throw it, and it was definitely going to be all grass in front of Jonas Jenkins. He was able to take it for 6. So that definitely hurt our team. As long as we keep moving forward, though, finding our receivers, developing as a team, and growing, meshing together, I see no issue with our team going forward. So that's my Tom Brady was underwhelming today. That was my take on it. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have anything else to add, and I'll see you guys in the next one.